So good morning, everyone, except for those of us who are in the afternoon already. And welcome to the regular weekly meeting of the Passport to Service Club. And I'm so glad that got so many people on the line this morning joining us. If you haven't muted yourself, I would ask you to please do that um, till we get to the question and discussion part of the meeting. We just for way of explanation for those of you who are guests of the club this morning and saw our social media posts, appreciate you joining us. We meet every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and we have, of course, open membership to anybody around the world who wants to join a club that works with its local Rotary clubs or any local service organizations or local organizations for that matter on their service. And that's why we call ourselves the Passport Service Club. So with that as a brief introduction, I want to also welcome all of our regular members who are with us this morning. We are thrilled that everybody has gotten up early. And with that, I would like to welcome our special guest this morning, Afik Nuriel from Israel, who has a project that he started. And I mean, of course, that's what he'll be talking about this morning, but the project is called Hear My Story. And I started seeing posts on social media, of course, about what he was doing and his work, even founding an Interact club as well. So I asked him to speak to us for 15 or 20 minutes this morning about the project, and he graciously agreed because he didn't have to get up that early, since, as he points out, it's the weekend and he has no school. So with no further ado, Afik, thanks so much for agreeing to be our guest speaker this morning, and let's please give a warm Passport to Service Club welcome to our special guest speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bruce, for inviting me. Hello, everyone. My name is Afik Nuriel. I'm from Israel, and I'm really excited to be here this Saturday morning. I started a project online with Rotary youth around the world, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. I'm just going to share my screen. If you wait me a few seconds. Can you see it? No? What about you? Oh, great. Sorry, here it is. So, as I told you before, my project called Hear My Story, and I'm excited to tell you about it more. So first, I would like us to do the four-way test. That's a tradition before every meeting we do in Hear My Story, and I'm sure at every club around the world. So I would like if three other people would join me. So this is the four-way test of the thing we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
I see some people talking, but you are muted.
Is it the truth?
Is it fair for all concerned?
Is it fair for
Is
all
it fair
concerned?
for all concerned?
Will it
Will
build
it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much, guys. We now we will have great vibes to start our presentation. So some rough ideas about Hear My Story. We started Hear My Story almost a year ago. Next week it will be a year actually. I started it in the great community of Rotary youth around the world called the Rotary Interactive Quarantine. It is a platform that was made for us interactors and Rotary Youth Exchange students to be active during this horrible pandemic. About a month after it started, I noticed something that is going on in the world. not just for us wearing masks or using alcohol gel, but the behavior of people. People start taking care of each other. People seems to be more aware of the situation of other people. People finally realize that we are all humans, that the corona doesn't pass over anyone. Black, white, women, men, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, everybody can get infected. So if the world has finally realized this one simple fact, why won't we help them realize some other amazing facts? For example, human rights. In addition, before the corona started, my school has did some great presentations about alcohol and prejudice and bullying that took place every week in my school. And I saw a lot of people who don't pay attention at all. And I think this was unacceptable. But I wanted to know exactly why they didn't pay attention. I asked some of my friends, and I got to two conclusions. First of all, the main reason is they consider it as a story, like a fairy tale, like it couldn't happen to them, like people who are protected from bullying or for prejudice. Well, of course, that's not true. And second of all, the people who are telling these stories are mainly teachers and principals, so they don't see the true faces between these stories. Again, they consider this as a fairy tale. So what I wanted for my generation to know is the true faces behind these stories, and for that I hope it will raise awareness and people will make a true change about themselves. So this is Hear My Story. So what we actually do? First of all, telling these stories, showing the true faces behind these stories. I gathered up a lot of Rotary youth and non-Rotary members of youth around the world who are willing to tell their true story, their true experience about these kind of things: depression, human women rights, bullying, homophobia, prejudice, everything that they think it will help the youth to be more kind, to be more accepted, and for that, hoping to grow a great generation together. Second of all, before every video we post, we want to explain about the topic more. So we do raising awareness posts on our social medias. We have the topic and we explain about it. We explain how it was started and what are the consequences youth are having it from. And to end with, we tell about how we as youth can prevent it. How can we make sure this won't happen again? How can we help these students or these teenagers who are suffering from it? And together we try to make a whole community for helping each other with our kindness only. Moreover, we have from time to time only conversations about these topics. We are inviting a great guest speaker who is a true mentor about this. He knows a lot of who. How can I say it? I'm sorry. For example, here you have Dr. Todd Jenkins, who is a Harvard doctor for diversity, equality, and inclusion. We invited him to talk to our community and more people who are like to talk to him. And the topic was racism and discrimination. We asked the audience to give him questions beforehand, and we discussed about how can we prevent it and why is it even existed. And you can see the other only conversation we did a few months ago about supporting the environment. Because of a lot of climate change cases around the world that recently has been happening through the decades, I wanted the youth to take action about this. So I invited 3 great, amazing speakers who wanted to help the youth how to know how to do it, especially Rotary youth. We invited a Rotarian who is in the Rotary Task Force of Environment, a Rotaractor who is in the same task force, and a great interactor who did a global beach cleaning project. Last but not least, we started a few months ago a great initiative that allows all Rotary members to tell their true story. Again, not similar to the storytelling before, but similar to the stories. I'm sorry. What they do is we invite them to tell their true experience behind the Rotary life. So more people will see them and maybe join Rotary or even found a club. We want people around the world to see how Rotary affects us, how it made us the people we are now. So people will join Rotary and take the great point of views we are gaining through our club and club members and through our club activities. Next, I want to explain you how we're organized. First, we have the leadership committee, which consists of me and the other head of committees. Second, we have the video editors team, who edits our videos and interviews. The design committee, who designed this amazing presentation and video covers and resident awareness posts. We have the social media team, who is in charge of our social media, but also tell us what we do right, what we do wrong, how can we get more people to our community, and mainly tell us what content our community likes or dislikes. And most importantly, the Translator's Committee, who I consider the most important committee in human story. Because unfortunately, not all of the people around the world speaks English fluently or speaks English at all. We want our content to be exposed to much more people, to as much people as we can. So we gather up teenagers who speaks several languages, and then they translate our videos and interviews over our social media, mainly on YouTube. We have currently now Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Hebrew, and English. But more to come, I hope. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how you Rotarians can support us. First of all, on the local level, you can help your youth to speak up and take action. Help them to build projects like we do on their own. Help them to speak up in front of an audience. Help them to do researches right. For example, this could help them to know more about what is going on in the world. A main thing we should all do during these crazy times. And with that, they can become global citizens, which that means to be involved in anything that takes place all over the world. For example, prejudice, women rights, bullying, and as I said before, climate change. And on the international level, the best thing you can help us with is to spread the word. Help us to encourage your Interact clubs or our Rotary Youth Exchange programs in your district to participate in Human Story. Maybe they could tell their true story. Maybe they could take an interview, or even better, join our community as a designer, as a video editors, or even a leadership team. And moreover, I consider Rotarians and Rotaractors as great people. You know much more about life, about Rotary, about everything from us. So I think if we would cooperate with mentorship, with the trainings, with support, with your supportive, we could do amazing things together. So thank you all for inviting me again. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And here you can see our social media accounts, and I would love if you could support us, follow us, like us. And if you have any questions, here is our email address, and I want to thank you. And you can ask me whatever you want now.
Thank you, Aura. Afik, that's terrific. And I have so many questions running through my mind, and I'm sure some other people do. Is it possible for you to pull up an excerpt, maybe a minute or two, of one of the actual stories from YouTube or whatever, and just share that with us? It doesn't have to be the full story, but I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what they actually look like. If
Sure, I can look up for this now and show you this. Sure, it will just take a few minutes. While I'm doing this, does anyone else has a question?
Well, I'll start it off. My initial question is, and then we'll go to Julie. You talked about all the different groups that are involved: translators, editors, social media. How many people are part of your team to do this?
Currently now we have 15 members, but these are the committees and not the whole community.
Okay, 15, you said?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. Julie, did you have a question as well?
That was the exact question I was going to ask as well.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And are they all your age? Are they all interactors or young people, or do you have any Rotaractors or others that are involved?
Yeah, we have one member who is in university. He's he's almost 20, but we don't consider age that much. We have 15 years old member, and I'm 18, and we have a whole diversity of ages. So but we work together real good, even though there is a part of the ages.
And I guess another question that comes to my mind is, where did there was obviously a pandemic, everyone was isolated, there was quarantine, but how did you come up with the idea to do this specifically? You know, where was the idea generated? Just popped into your head one day, or you were talking to friends, or tell me quickly how that happened.
Actually, when the Rotary Interactive Quarantine started, I learned a lot of things about what's going on in the world, but later when I worked during a late night, I just popped in my head, just suddenly.
That's very cool. Anybody else have any questions while Afik is pulling up the excerpt of one of the stories? If you do, just unmute yourself and jump in.
Yeah, I found it, if I can share it.
All right, well, if you've got a question, just hold it off for a second and then go ahead, Afik.
Yeah. Could you hear it?
No.
Is there a chance? How can I share my audio? Do you know it?
Yeah, when you go to share the screen, unshare, and when you go to share, you should see the
Yeah, I found it.
sound and optimize.
Ocasiones se habían enviado mensajes por Esteban e Isabela se habían conocido en las vacaciones. Se habían enviado mensajes por ya más de un mes. Para ella eran prácticamente una pareja. Desafortunadamente, al empezar las clases ella vio que no era lo que pensaba. Ellos estaban en salones distintos, por lo que no se veían muy constantemente. Eran pocos los instantes en que sus voces se juntaban en el pasillo, y confusamente las palabras de Esteban ya no sonaban tan cálidas como en los textos. La situación le causó mucha frustración a Isabela. Se sentía impotente de que él no demostrara una pizca de romance en frente de sus numerosos amigos. Sin embargo, ella decidió llamar su atención y provocarlo. Poco a poco sus conversaciones se tornaron muy sensuales y efectivamente las miradas entre Esteban e Isabela aumentaron. Para ella todo iba bien, hasta el día del incidente. Era tarde en la noche y su caliente conversación se escalaba. Había mucha tensión. De repente, Esteban decidió dar un paso que ella nunca había esperado. Le acaban de pedir fotos íntimas. Isabela, ciega por su cariño hacia él, acató todas sus órdenes. En respuesta, recibió unos emojis enamorados. Con una enorme sonrisa en su rostro, se fue a dormir. Al amanecer, el infierno de Isabela comenzó. Su celular se encontraba lleno de llamadas y mensajes de todas sus amigas y de algunos extraños. Ella llegó a la escuela y no comprendía nada de lo que pasaba. Incluso sus profesores le lanzaban miradas incriminantes. Inmediatamente, los apodos comenzaron, y al revisar su Facebook entendió lo que había pasado. Sus interiores ahora eran públicos, y su cuerpo una celebridad. Claramente, Esteban no respondió por nada de eso, y ahora solo la trataba como a una extraña. Él estaba tranquilo e incluso se divertía bastante con sus numerosos amigos. Sin embargo, al siguiente día lo esperaba una paliza, una mudanza y una expulsión. Tristemente para Isabela, la vida tampoco volvió a ser la misma. Tuvo que cambiar su nombre de usuario, su celular, sus amigos, su comportamiento e incluso tuvo que irse de la ciudad porque no soportaba la presión de las miradas y los comentarios en la calle.
This was our second story we posted in Humor Story a year ago. One of our great ones, I think.
It was terrific. How many stories do you have?
We gained over, I think 14 stories right now. But from time to time we do the posts not just from the stories. For example, there were when Jennifer Jones was first announced as the president-elect of Rotary International, we wanted to do something for women around the world. So we gathered up some of the great women in history and told some great facts about it.
I think it's remarkable what you're doing. And who's the editor? I mean, who decides the stories?
This story was edited by the person who was in it, David. Now he's not a part anymore because he graduated and went to university, so he couldn't have the proper time to help us. But
So
now we have another.
Let me ask my question a different way. Do you get more requests to do stories than you can do? Do you have people who suggest stories that you don't think are appropriate to use? I'm just wondering the process for when you get.
People tell before I get the stories, I ask the people what is it about, because we are a Rotary project. We can't do anything political or something that goes over the Rotary bylaws. So I asked the story and read it beforehand just to make sure, but about that, they have a free hand to do anything.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
I have a question for Hannah. Hannah, how did you find out about OFAC?
That's actually perfect because I had a question too. But hello, everyone. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I found out about this through our Interact district chair who told me about this opportunity. And as soon as I got the Zoom link, I was really excited to come out and hear OFAC talk and meet all of you. And I'll be serving on the Rotary International Interact Advisory Council this upcoming school year. And I'm just really excited to connect with Rotarians and interactors across the US and hear from these wonderful stories. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to be here today and meet all of you.
We're happy to have you. Did you say you had a question also?
Yeah, I do. Well, first of all, thank you, Afik, for such a wonderful presentation. I think the work you're doing is very impactful and insightful. And a question I had was, I was wondering if you could share some of the hardest and most rewarding parts of your work. I know that this project is on a very massive scale, and so I would love to hear your anecdotes or your stories from moments that you found particularly memorable in your journey.
Oh, sure, I would love to. From time to time, there are nothing at all to post, or not people to help me get a work done. Because we are all students, people have their other responsibilities, for example, school or their club, or just need a vacation from everything. And uh, like sometimes I have to do it all by my own, which is hard sometimes because I have a school too, even though I'm graduating in 1 month. It's sometimes hard to juggle between my work in Rotary in general and my school, and it's very challenging. But I think I had to stay up like long nights, even for school or either for Rotary. But it's really rewarding at the end. For example, one of the rewards to talking to you today.
What are you going to do when you graduate next month?
I'm going to the college in Israel, but I was going to enlist the military, which is a mandatory thing in Israel. So
Right.
after the college, I will have to get to the military.
So when you go to college, do they have a Rotaract club, or are you going to start one?
I will start my one, but we have a Rotary club near the college, 20 minutes driving, but still near it. But if it will be too far, I will definitely find one.
Excellent. And I see, is it Guy who's on the line with us this morning? Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? We welcome you as a guest this morning.
Yes, hello, Bruce. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I'm Guy Garcia from South Brazil. I'm also will be part of the Interact Advisory Council next year. So hello, everyone. Congratulations on your presentation. Fabulous. I really appreciate your work with Interact. Here in Brazil, we are about 10,000 interactors in 500 clubs. We are the only club with a MDIO for Interact. So we have those numbers, and that's really helpful. So I really do appreciate all this Rotarians supporting our interactors. That's great because Interact is not only the future Rotary, but it's the present. So thank you very much, and please count on me if you need something.
That's great. So happy you're with us this morning. We've got Interact royalty with us this morning, really, three of you. It's terrific. So I want to thank you, Afik, for accepting my invitation to talk to the club. We're an interesting club because we don't have any particular locality. We're just kind of where everybody is. But as a result, Julie can work with Interact clubs in her area of Michigan, and folks in Canada can work with there or start Interact clubs. So we have no territorial boundaries to what we do. But we do love to hear what's going on around the world and in the Rotary world, and I think this is just a fascinating project. And we'll be posting the recording of your presentation this morning on social media as well. So please, everybody, let's thank Afik and Hannah and Guy for joining us this morning. We really appreciate you being with us.